What's up guys, and welcome back to Anything Geek. We finished off the last episode of this ultimate guide with the rules of the game, a deep dive on them. If you haven't checked out and you don't know how to play the game, I highly suggest you check out that video. But with that topic out of the way, you know the rules of the game now, but you need to find the cards to play. That's gonna be the topic of this video for the ultimate guide of the One Piece card game. And I'm gonna first talk about the online sources that you can find. And the very first online source that I can recommend is gonna be Card Game Shop, which is a shop that is based in Belgium. So that's perfect for me, of course, because I'm from Belgium. And if you go to the One Piece tab, you're gonna be able to see all the products in all the categories, but you're mostly gonna find things in the pre-order tab, because if a new project is announced, you need to pre-order it as soon as possible. So that's going to be this tab right here, and you can see that there's 4 dates for this year still, and the only one that's containing product is actually the last one, and those are going to be OPO 8 booster packs singles. So booster boxes, they are already out. So if you're gonna go this route, I highly suggest that you constantly check the site whenever products are announced. Another online source that is worth mentioning is actually Games Avenue. If you're in France, this is a perfectly good store for you, and they have a very nice One Piece section where, apparently there's some OPO 5 in stock, but you can see the price is gonna be a bit higher because those are past sets, and as such, they are getting a little boost in price, which I do not believe is fair, but I mean, who am I to judge? There are still very reasonable price. I mean, 129 for OPO 5. That's a good deal actually. You can also see that this is actually the reprint for the OPO 5 that is supposed to come, and those are pre-orders. They're not in stock. And there's only 7 units left that you can pre-order. You can see right here, it's actually scheduled for the 19th of July. For the rest, I mean, if the stocks are out, well, you're out of luck. But for instance, there's still some ST13 starter deck, which is a very good option, and you should totally check it out. Just be careful with all these that you do not accidentally order some Japanese products. The very last online source that I've heard is fairly good is Europe TCG, but I haven't ordered anything from them myself, but they seem to be a very good seller, so you might as well check it out. We never know if this is gonna work out for you, but back when I heard stuff about them, it was the time where pre-order were cut left and right, and they had a hard time also for that. Like everything else, past sets are pretty much sold out, but there's still some OPO 6 left in store, and those are also the same price that we just saw on Games Avenue, so that's also a source that you can potentially check out. But those are European websites where you can order the products. For the US though, I do not live over there, so I don't have any good source that I can link. So if you would please leave me in the comments down below all your sources, I will make a master list and leave it in the pinned comments so people can find good places where they can buy the game. For the second-hand market, I have only one source for European people, and this is going to be Card Market. This is, to me, the best source that I found. Vinted tends to have higher prices, so I would definitely recommend going in Card Market to see what the values of cards are. It's a very solid website, and they basically have all the cards, because those are just people like you and me selling their own cards, but you can find stores, and that is just one of the benefits of this website. To be fair, Games Avenue, I knew about them because of Card Market. I just was looking for a specific card, and Games Avenue happened to be selling that, and that it was a legit store, so I googled them around. I found the website. Of course, some cards you do need to pay attention where they are coming from, because if you are in the European area, you need to pay attention if the seller comes from the United Kingdom, because you're susceptible to VAT tax, so just be careful with that. But as long as you pick a good seller that do not have VAT when shipping towards you, you're pretty much good to go. For the US region, I do know about TCG Player, however, I never used the website myself because I'm outside of the area, so that might be a little pricey for me with shipping and all that. But you can totally check the website out and see about the product that they have, if they have what you seek. It's just going to be overall your go-to place when you go and check out the price of a card, because you cannot trust Card Market for the US prices because we're two different regions. TCG Player is going to be your go-to website on the second-hand market if you are in the US. However, I do invite all of you to leave me down in the comments again your recommendation for your own sources. I will do my best to keep a master list of all those, so people will have an easier time finding good stores where they can go and buy the game. Now, your second option when it comes to finding stores that you can buy the game from, which is not online, is gonna be, well, physical stores. If you already have a local game shop, perfect, just go and ask them, and if you don't carry the game but you still want it, just tell them that you still want the game and that they can at least order a few products for you, so you can at least try out the game and try and build a community around in your local game shop. So of course, talking with your friends, asking them where they are going to play, if they play a trading card game such as Magic, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! That's already a good lead for you to find a local game shop that you can go and fidelize yourself to. But if you just happen to be like in the middle of nowhere, you know no one and you don't know the stores around you, there is still one last hope that you can use to try and find a local game shop. And I've talked about this in my previous video. It's Bandai TCG Plus. Bandai has made a website where you can go and find stores that are eligible to the One Piece card game. So those are most likely stores that Bandai know about and stores that are susceptible to sell the game. So I suggest you take advantage of this and just go and search about your area. I had a search set up for me, but you can pretty much find stores anywhere. So let's say you're in the US and let's say you're in the prefecture of, I don't know, Kansas, maybe. I'm just picking things at random here. Oh, you can add other. Anyway, we're not going to do that. We're in the US, in the Kansas. Let's search, and you're going to have a list of store that you can then DM and contact to ask them if they carry the game. If they do, then drive to the store, or if they have an online store that is linked to their physical store, you can order from there. But get in touch with your local game shop and ask them about the game and if they sell the product. Now, of course, there are going to be pros and cons to both of those solutions. And for the digital website, of course, the pros are going to be that it's easy, that there is an ease of access to this. You can just hop online, pre-orders. It's prepaid, you already paid for the thing, so you just receive it when the product comes out. Sometimes you can have better price, but I've shown you before that even the price right now for OPO5, the reprint that is coming, which is supposed to be at an MSRP of 100, is still 129. So that's still a bit higher. So that depends on the website that you go to. Also, not to mention, you're gonna have to pay delivery costs, and shipping is more often than not linked to the weight of the product that you're shipping. So a booster box, I mean, it's not like 12 kilograms, but it is still a bit heavy. But possibly the biggest downside of going digital when you pre-order the game is that there is no fidelity program. There is no knowing your local community in that aspect, which means that if there is a stock cut from Bandai and the online store receive less than what is expected, they're gonna make the business decision. They're not gonna take into account who you are, what you're doing, if you really need the product or not. And so this is why the biggest difference with a local game shop is gonna be that once you know your local community and the owner of the store, my boxes I get at around 110, and I know it's still a fair price. Plus I get the discount because I'm a regular to the store and I don't pay any shipping, although I have to drive there and it's a bit far away from me. There is no prepaid, so I have to plan the money in advance when I know that a set is coming out. But the biggest difference is that the owner of the shop to where I go to knows me personally. He knows my face. He sees me at each set releases and I'm always taking 2 boxes, so I'm making business with him. So he remembers me, he knows that I'm gonna buy the product, and we're at a point where whenever I go to his shop and he's saying to me like, hey, I saw that product that's coming up. Do you know anything about it? He's asking me for counsel about the product, and then he's not even asking me. He just says, I don't know if you're going to take it, but I just still order 2 on the side for you. So there is an advantage to go and know your local community, which is playing into the availability itself of the product. My local game shop knows that I'm serious about buying the game. He knows that every set, every release, I'm going to be there buying 2 copies of every product. That said, you need to find a store that is correct with the customers. A store that is not gonna skyrocket the price because, yeah, the price on the internet is much higher. But trust me when I say you find a good store that does not skyrocket the price and that remembers you when you go there, you're gonna be set forever. Now, this second part of the video is going to be totally optional, but I wanted to take a moment to talk about the stock issue because I see everywhere around that people still struggle to find the game, and that is a legit concern. I just want you to know that there is a solution for that, and I want to talk about this. But if you're not interested in that debate, please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends, or maybe stick around for the conversation. I promise that you might still learn something cool along the way. And so when we talk about the stock issue for the One Piece card game, because it's not really available everywhere, we have to remember that this is only a problem for newcomers to the game, because hardcore player like me and most of my friends, we never had any issue pre-ordering the game. And that's a big factor, I think, is that we pre-order every product once we get the information. We get in touch with the store and saying, this is gonna come out, I want 2 boxes of that. Because the way that this works is that when the product is available for the store to order from Bandai, every store has a set time to input how many boxes they are gonna order for their store. And most of the time when the stock is not following at a specific store, it's because the store itself didn't believe that the product will sell. And so they under-ordered the game. They may have ordered 2 boxes, and then anybody interested into the game just rock around, say, hey, I'm gonna take the 2 boxes, and there's nothing left for anybody else. But other stores that know that their player are gonna play the game and that the product will sell will not proceed that way. They're gonna order enough to cover all the pre-orders that they got from their regular players. They're gonna also add stocks enough to support the pre-release of the set, and they're also gonna pre-order a few boxes more, so they have some sort of leeway when it comes to pre-releases or people just coming in and saying, hey, I heard about this game, can I have some boosters? And I know that people do not really want to hear this, but if you really want to get into the game, you need to pre-order way in advance. And I'm not talking about pre-ordering 1 set in advance. Right now we have OPO 6 and EBO 1 that are out, which means that they are out of stock. OPO 7 is already out of stock everywhere. You're not going to be able to find it. Most of us players already had our pre-orders since like 6 months ago. So do not get your hopes up to find OPO 7 in the wild just like that. OPO 8 might be possible if you find some boxes here and there in random shops. But if you really want to get into the game and pre-order in advance, try to think 3 sets in advance. You're gonna have a way easier time that way. And I do know, and it is totally fair, that you guys are saying, yeah, but you shouldn't have to do that. And I agree. I totally 100% agree with that. The game is just not in a place right now where it can afford to overprint everything and have stocks constantly in every store. Currently, it's the 2nd year life of the game, and the game is doing incredibly well, so it is gonna get better over time. It is gonna be at some point the same as Pokemon, Magic, and Yu-Gi-Oh! You're gonna be able to find products when you go to a store. But you need to understand that since the game is so young, this is not something that is gonna happen anytime soon. Maybe in 2 years' time, maybe. And I know this is frustrating for new players wanting to get into the game, but I want to draw a silver lining here and give you hopes. Because right now you're showing your frustration that you want to get into the game, but there is not enough product. Well, that's actually the challenge that the game has to overcome. Having people having a hard time finding the game is actually a good thing. It means that the game is selling and overperforming what Bandai has planned. And that is how Bandai is gonna know that they can start to print more and they can start to bring more people into the game. But for now, if you want the easiest solution to buying the game and be able to play, just try to pre-order way in advance. The next starter deck is going to be the starter deck 14. I suggest you start looking into starter deck 15 through 20, which are going to come out at the end of this year in November. That is a very long time to wait for starter deck, I know, but at least if you pre-order them right now, you know you're gonna be able to have your hands on the product. Or if you're filthy rich, I mean, just go and buy any starter deck you want from a scalper. That's just gonna be the same to Bandai. So definitely let me know everything that you think about the subject in the comment down below. This is a very heavy topic, so please stay courteous in the comment. This is not a box ring. And while you're working out where you're gonna buy the product, I'm gonna work out on the next video, which is gonna be what you should buy to get into the game as optimally as possible. And while you wait for that video so you can go into your local game shop and pester them about pre-ordering something, I have two lovely videos right here that you can check out and get ahead of the curve. See you in next episode.